Hello guys, and welcome to Game Revival Has Never Played. I'm Alex. We got these guys. These guys don't matter. Just kidding, they do. It's Anthony. We got Adam. Today we got Sonic and the Black Knight. As a longtime Sonic fan, I felt I really should have played this when it came out, but I didn't. So we're gonna pop in this game and we're gonna check it out.
I'm coming along for emotional support.
Aww.
You're gonna be okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's see what Alex thinks.
All right, guys, we played through it, we finished it, and here's what we think. So we'll start off with the graphics. The first thing I really wanted to put out there was Sonic Team does a really good job with their cutscenes. They always look fantastic. Even playing the other games come to mind, like Unleashed, for example. Like even the cutscenes on the Wii looked pretty damn good. That being said, the rest of the game doesn't really look bad, but then again, it doesn't really stand out as a figurehead in terms of Wii graphics, like some of the other games that have come out for it. It just felt kind of there. Yeah, there.
That's kind of how it was. I mean, the Storybook series was kind of like a side to the Sonic games, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't want to like call them like shovelware.
You could call it that.
You would. I wouldn't say shovelware.
I don't know if I would call any Sonic game shovelware. That's taking a step pretty far.
It doesn't seem... I don't want to say that no effort was put in, because obviously there's effort that goes in any time a video game is made. I mean, the cutscenes looked good, yeah, but they hardly used those cutscenes. They did things like progress story through things like little cutouts with words. Yeah. Like, if you have the power to do these cutscenes, do the cutscenes. But it didn't happen. It wasn't there.
No.
So it was fine. It was unoffensive. They were fine.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know, that's nothing really just stood out. And like I don't really have a lot of gripes about it. The only thing I would probably say they could have done better was during some of the fast parts, there's a lot of motion blur, which kind of made it difficult to focus in on what you were doing. So when you're going through, you're swinging the Wii remote, you're destroying like lines of enemies and stuff like that, you have parts where you have to like slow down and get to these like chivalry parts where you have to like give these villagers rings. But usually I'm moving so fast, I kind of just like, wait, was that one of them? Oh, I don't know. Too late. Alright, so next thing we're going to talk about is audio. In terms of audio, the soundtrack was pretty damn good. I mean, Crush 40 doing what Crush 40 does. Like any other Sonic game, they do a great job with sound. They put a lot of effort into it, you can tell. My favorite parts were even the covers of the theme songs of characters that they redid. Most notably was Tails' theme in the blacksmith menu. That was a nice touch.
As someone who does not play a lot of Sonic games and doesn't have those character themes, in my head, something to compare it to. Maybe I didn't like feel it right here as much as you did, but right. I gotta say the music was my favorite part of the game. Each track I thought was at the bare minimum solid, all the way up to songs that even to right now are stuck in my head. I'm not going to sing them because that just makes it worse.
On to gameplay. I'm just going to come out and say it. The motion controls were kind of a hit or miss for me. At times, it felt like you could just swing wildly and it's not going to matter. And other times, like, yeah, you're swinging and it's kind of accurate, so it's like, okay. For the most part, everything was fast and fluid. Not a whole lot brought down the speed of the game besides your own skill, except for the chivalry parts where you had to stop and do like this quick time event for these villagers, which you're giving rings to. I honestly felt like it broke the flow of the game, and like, I mean, I get it, but it was also kind of a bit let down.
Are typical Sonic levels usually that short?
It depends on the game. They aren't known for being, like, very long, but some of them are decently long, and the whole thing is you play them a few times, and then the end goal is, like, you've memorized the stage so much you can just fly through it.
It felt like we were just doing 2-minute long stages, and then a couple stages later, it's the same objective in another 2-minute long stage, which, it's fine when in games where there's enough variety and like the level design and the levels look different, but like the objective was always the same. It was like, hey, run fast, give villagers rings, do it.
Or
except
like,
for the boss fights, which 3 out of 4 of them I remember being pretty simple.
Yeah.
The worst part was there was one boss fight though where I think we got beat a couple times, but then we were using strategy, and that was the issue. It turns out the correct answer was swing sword wildly equals win.
It was almost comical, the battles with the characters, because it was slightly reminiscent of Sonic Adventure, where you would, like, for example, the Knuckles fight. Like, you could honestly beat Knuckles super fast in Sonic Adventure. Like, you hit him, give it your best, oh no, over and over, and like, you swing wildly enough, you're pretty much the same situation where it's just like bam, 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 you're dead. So, for the most part, though, I didn't really have too much of an issue with the game gameplay wise, but I will say it was kind of lame that most of the game, or the real meat of it, was kind of hidden behind the whole first part. And spoiler alert, after you beat the Black Knight, the game kind of just opens up.
It becomes an actual game.
Mechanics that should have been in when you started it are now available. You got weapon crafting, item collecting, you got the ability to play as other characters, the list goes on. And you spend like the first few hours of the game playing as just Sonic, not having the extra options to do all this. You beat the Black Knight thinking like, wow, this was the game, but then they throw that at you, and then you're like, why wasn't that in there when I started off?
Is there more to the story once you beat the Black Knight?
Yes.
But you get like the credit roll and everything.
Yeah, they like legit.
And it doesn't like immediately bring you into it. You have to hit like, yup, I'm still playing. Like, it brings you to the main menu. And then you have to be like, still playing. Let's see, I'll go back, I'll play a couple things, but then you're hit with like, oh, just kidding, you just played a 3-hour-long tutorial.
The parts that they throw at you that you unlock, even during the Sonic parts, aren't very significant. So like, you gotta beat the Black Knight, and then after you do, hey, here's the actual game.
It makes you wonder how they came up with that title.
Story-wise, it's the story of King Arthur, obviously, with a lot of liberties taken. I felt like the characters were pretty well written. They did have their personalities, but it wasn't to the point where it was super cringy.
I actually did like that the different characters were playing the different characters in the mythos. I don't know if they picked the correct characters for it, like... Shadow is Lancelot. Like, Lancelot's whole thing is like, I'm brave Sir Lancelot, the bravest and the first knight of all the knights. And you picked the edgy anti-hero to be the guy, the knight, the guy.
Well, yeah, but then again, like, people crap their pants for Shadow. And
I mean,
like,
he's got a machine gun, obviously.
Most people did complain about, I gave Sonic a sword, but it's like, you gave Shadow a gun.
That one's a little worse. It's a little bit worse of an offense. I think. Like, how do you feel? You think that's a worse offense?
Which one?
Sonic with the sword or Shadow with the gun?
I think they're equal.
They're equal.
Equally bad or equally great?
Equally fine with me.
Equally fine. I mean, at least they did a good job of making Sonic with a sword kind of, like, fun. I mean...
You thought that sword was fun?
I mean, it made a lot of sense. I mean, why not give him a weapon where speed comes into play?
Yeah, I mean, better than him going around being like...
But I mean, it's not a speed sword, is it? It's a broadsword, right?
Yeah, but he
It's
wields
one-handed.
it pretty fast.
It's one-handed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
he wields
I
it
thought it
pretty
was a
fast,
pretty
yeah.
bulky sword.
No,
I mean, in terms of his body, it probably looks like it should have weighed more, but then again...
Sonic's like 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
The hedgehogs typically can't pick up any kind of sword.
You know, I don't think Sonic is a typical hedgehog.
We'll go on to replayability. For the most part, I'd have to say it would definitely be something to replay. If the first time you went through it, you didn't get all the items, because there's a lot of collectibles after you go through the game. Like there's an item trading mechanic where you get you identify items at the end of each level, and you can trade these items with your friends who also have the game. I don't really remember how that all worked, but it was kind of a cool concept. Collecting all the materials to make the weapons. For the most part, I'd have to say, like, if you're a completionist, and you didn't go through and get all the items, I'd definitely say you'd probably want to replay it. The whole 3-hour tutorial part is kind of a drag, and that kind of detracts from wanting to replay it, but I would replay it.
I think it's a game that you have to replay. If you don't replay it, you'll never know the rest of the game is there.
There's just so much more. Like, I always felt like I needed more to it, like I needed more substance, and then after you beat it, it's like, oh, there it is.
Why did they wait so long, though?
I don't know. I mean, taking risks I get, but like...
Experimentation.
But
Yeah.
they could have stretched it out to, like, they could have stretched the story out to the point where you start collecting these people and, you know, your allies and your new swords and everything like that, and it could have been a good game instead of just being there.
Alright, that brings us on to our closing thoughts here on the game. Overall, the game was pretty good. It was pretty good. With all the stuff that's in there, like even post game, if you technically want to call it that, you got an interesting story already. You got the story of King Arthur. You got the Sonic characters in there, and the ability to play as them. You got the different fighting styles. You got the different weapons, the collectibles, the item crafting. Plethora of different levels were pretty nice. I mean, none of them really irked me, as long as you paid attention to what you needed to do. No friggin' human love interest. Overall, I mean, they did a pretty good job. I wouldn't say it's one of the best Sonic games, but I also wouldn't say it's like the worst game I've ever played either. So I'd have to say I would give it probably a 6.5, above average, and that's me trying to be unbiased.
I thought that I was going to majorly crap on this game's score, but standing here, giving this review, I'm noticing that there were things that I liked. Again, you know, the music being key. It was unoffensive. It was definitely something that, like, I wouldn't consider it terrible. I might not even consider it bad. If anything, it has potential to be a fun game, even if you're not a Sonic fan. It's like a 5 for me. Someone should go back and remake the game and just put the Black Knight fight at the end.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Instead of in the first quarter.
So that was Sonic and the Black Knight, and another game Revival has never played. If you guys enjoy this, please feel free to let us know in the comment section. Your feedback will definitely help shape the channel. If you liked it, give us a like.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Check out more videos. We got plenty at this time. Check them out. See what you think. Comment.
And if you'd like to see more of this, again, let us know. We'll have more coming down the pipeline.
And if there's a game that you haven't played, why not play it?
Or, if you can think of a game that you'd like us to play, let us know.
Maybe we'll play it. Until next time, why not, you know...
Touch on my spaghetti.
No, the meme's dead. Dead. It's a dead meme.
There's a lot of dead memes.
Oh, so many dead memes. Remember when you threw a Harambe reference in one of our Harry Potter videos?
That was you.
I know, but I said...
I'm blaming everyone else for my mistakes.
I literally said,
Edit that
don't
out.
keep that in.
And I left it in as a
And you
joke.
even left me in. Say, don't keep that in.
So that's our review. Remember, guys, do as we do. Go out there, play these games, make a new opinion for yourself. Take care.
See ya.
Sonic and the Black Knight.
The dustpan is standing up by itself.
I just kicked it. And now it's standing.
There's some paranormal shit up in here.